Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. As an introduction video to the channel, I thought why not review the newest wave of the 6-inch Black Series figures. First up, we have Bastila Shan from Knights of the Old Republic. Overall, I think this is a great figure. I'm going to get into the specifics in a second. One thing that I did think was a little bit interesting about the plastic-free packaging for this one is that there was an indent in the cardboard for the lightsaber, which I thought was just a nice touch just to add a little bit of extra protection to the blade and the hilt. As I said before, overall, this figure's a really great figure. The head sculpt is fantastic. I really commend Hasbro for being able to take video game characters and even the cartoon characters from the Clone Wars and Rebels and translate them into a realistic look. I think they're doing a really nice job at that. I know a couple people have tried to pinpoint what actress it looks like, but I haven't really seen any specific actress in this face. I know a couple people have their opinions, which is always fun to read. The figure from the waist up is completely new. The arms, the torso, everything like that. The lightsaber is a really nice touch. I know some people were saying it's similar to Cal Kestis's double-bladed lightsaber from the Gaming Greats figure, but it's actually different. It's a completely new hilt, and it's nice to see a yellow lightsaber in the line finally. The blades are of the older pegs, so they are a little bit more difficult to get in and out of the hilt, so I'll be leaving them in, 100% of the time. As far as the reused parts, again, I grabbed my old Ayla Secura figure just because I wanted to show a comparison. So yes, from the waist down, it is a complete reuse, but I'm going to say that reuse like this, I am 100% on board with. Bastilla really didn't have any specific markings on her pants, so if we're going to get new figures like this with a little bit of reuse, I'm absolutely okay, especially when they knock it out of the park with a face sculpt like this. Like I said, it's a fantastic figure all around. You really can't get much better than anything like this, and it's also cool that, 4 out of 6 figures in this particular wave are lightsaber wielders, so that's always a nice touch. I love Jedi and I love Sith, so, keep them coming. And I wouldn't mind if this is repainted black to eventually get a dark side version. Up next, we have Obi-Wan Kenobi Jabiim. This is probably my second favorite figure in the wave, and it's also my favorite look of Obi-Wan from the Kenobi series. We did get 2 figures previously of Obi-Wan from the Kenobi series, the Wandering Jedi and then the Tibetan Station. It's not that I didn't like the older figures, but when I looked at the face, I really didn't see a huge likeness to Ewan McGregor, but this one is a definite improvement. Just the dark wash to the hair and the beard really add a nice effect to it, and this is definitely one of the better head sculpts I've ever seen on a Black Series figure. The robe is a nice touch. I always love soft goods, especially when it sits well. I think the hood for this one in particular really sits well on the head. I know they've had trouble with that in the past. Brand new parts for this one, waist up, just like Bastila. Again, why create brand new parts for a look from the waist down that he didn't change in the series? It's accurate. The lightsaber is the same, the blaster is the same, and I'll reiterate, we're not going to change the accessories or any parts when they don't need to be new, when they're accurate to the show. I also like that, everything is sculpted brand new for the Jedi. I know it is distinct for Obi-Wan for that particular look, but I'm hoping that because we do now have another Jedi sculpt, that it might be reused for some future Jedi. And there's a nice shot of the robe sitting on with the hood up. Like I said, it was really good. My only gripe is when you look at this pose, it really would have been cool to maybe see some alternate hands so we could recreate that specific scene where he's making the rocks float. The next one I'm going to review in the series is the Fourth Sister Inquisitor, kind of an offbeat character, which I didn't really anticipate being in the line until it was actually revealed. My guess is probably Hasbro gets these early shots of different characters and not necessarily any information or very little information about the story itself. I'm never going to complain about Inquisitor figures, though. I think they've done a really nice job with all of the Inquisitors in the past, so having another one is a really nice addition to the collection. I hope it means that we do get other Inquisitors, especially, Seventh Sister and Eighth Brother from the Rebels series, and then the upcoming one in the Ahsoka series. So let's take a look at this figure. Again, another head sculpt and face printing that is very good. A different alien species, which is always nice. Add some variation to the Black Series. The lightsaber hilt is different. It's not reused from Grand Inquisitor, even though it looks similar. The blades are of the older type, so they are a little bit more difficult, again, to get in and out of the hilt. But one nice touch about it is it does use that 2-peg system. So it clips really nice into the back like the Grand Inquisitor's does. I really thought that one for the fifth brother was very awkward, and obviously, you know, it makes it very difficult for him to hold. I get that they wanted to be accurate with snapping into the back, but I'm glad that they actually, you know, managed to fix their errors on it with the Grand Inquisitor and now with the Fourth Sister as well. The skirt's really nice too. You know, this looks brand new from the head to the toe, and the skirt's nice because it's made of that softer plastic that they've been using on a lot of figures as of late, and hopefully in the future. It makes it really easy to pose. Doesn't inhibit any kind of leg movement, which is good. Here's a nice shot of all the Inquisitors they've made. Again, you know, hint, hint, Hasbro. I'd like to add a couple to the shelf there. Up next, we have Tala Durtih in her Imperial Officer uniform. There's really not that much to say about this particular figure. It's probably, in my opinion, the weakest of the wave, and I'm not saying it's the weakest in that it's a bad figure because, you know, the face is really good. It looks like the actress. It's probably the weakest only because I'm going to say that I probably would have preferred her Rebel attire more than the Imperial Officer attire. With that being the case, though, as you can see, it's all brand new parts because the legs are the non-exposed pin system. She does come with the generic blaster that she has. Unfortunately, the hat is not removable, so that is a bit of a letdown, but I don't really remember her walking around without the hat in this particular uniform anyway, so to me it still is accurate. One thing that I am very pleased about, though, is the fact that we got a sculpt for the female Imperial Officer. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that maybe we could actually reuse that in the future. You know, we have Rey Sloane. She was in a video game, and she was prominent in the Aftermath trilogy. We have Dedra Meero from Andor, who I feel like was probably one of the more complex characters for all you Rebel fans out there. We could make a Governor Pryce, and Starkiller's rumored, so why not throw in a Juno Eclipse into the Gaming Greats line as well? Kind of comical. Anytime there's a new figure, I kind of get the Hasbro mentality. It's a great figure for a couple days, and then I immediately, you know, start to think of, hey, how can we reuse this figure? Up next is Vel Sartha from the Andor set. The mural still matches up with the rest of the figures, but if you look on the back, she is actually numbered 8, which I thought was interesting. I think that's the first mistake we've had as far as numbering goes for the Black Series. We haven't had repeats in the past. That is a mistake. She is numbered the same as the Cassian Andor from the main line. I think the Vintage Collection ran into a couple issues with that, but it is a first for the Black Series. Overall, it's still a great figure. I know Andor isn't very popular, but I really like the series, and I love this figure, particularly because it's from one of my favorite episodes where they do, go through with the Aldhani mission. If you look back at that, you can see with the head sculpt, they do actually paint the silver in her ear to show that she has an earpiece, which is a nice detail. The blaster rifle is very distinct. It has an extendable barrel, and the shoulder piece folds in and out. It also has some nice silver paint details, which I always appreciate on blasters. You know, any kind of wash or details does make it pop on the shelf, so that's always a nice touch as well. Not really too much to say about this figure other than the fact that because I liked Andor so much, you know, I'll always, definitely accept more figures. And because of the Aldhani mission, I really hope that maybe in the future we'll get the rest of the crew. Last but certainly not least is my favorite figure of the wave, and probably a lot of people's favorite figure of the wave, Darth Malak from Knights of the Old Republic. I'm really glad that they decided to pack this one 2 per case because I feel like out of all of the figures in this wave, he's going to sell the most. They really need to do that with both popular characters and army builders. If you look here, something interesting was that they added paper and cardboard, probably just as like extra protection for the figure. They did that with Bastilla, which is always, a nice extra effort into protecting the figures. I really don't think videos, pictures, anything do this figure justice. From head to toe, it's just a fantastic figure. I know some people were complaining about the red hue with it. I'm not really complaining about it. I think the figure looks great. I really don't notice that the color is off at all. I do have a comparison shot here with Malak's lightsaber to Darth Vader's. As you can see, there's more of like an orangish hue to Malak's as opposed to Darth Vader's. Lightsaber hilt made the same as all the others, a little more difficult to pull out, but what's nice is that he's got that little pouch in the back to slide the hilt in. Slides in nice, and really no issues there. One thing that I do wish Hasbro did with the lightsabers was give us 2 different pieces, one ignited and one non-ignited. I have broken a lot of lightsabers in the past, which is unfortunate. And really the last detail about this figure, which I think is a great detail on Hasbro's part, is the removable face plates. I wouldn't have been upset if they would have done a head sculpt with removable face pieces, but You know, I'm glad that they did make them removable because the detail on the face underneath it is just incredible. The scarring, the painting, everything is just great. I'm always worried about breaking accessories, so I did try this a couple times. With the faceplates, they do have 2 pegs on the back. If you try to clip them in from the sides, you're going to have a little difficulty and you might, you know, worry about breaking them. So what I figured out was if you insert the pegs first and then kind of do like a door hinge type of movement, they do clip in the front, and that makes it a lot easier for it to clip back around. And again, overall, great figure, great wave. I'm really happy with it. If you like the video, please subscribe to the channel. I'll be doing a full room tour in a couple of days, so definitely check that out. Lots of reviews to come, and thanks for watching.